Okay, sorry. I got a text from one of my coworkers. That was weird. He never texts me.
Hate that.
Yeah, I think he's looking for a house to buy, a new house.
Well, tell him to keep moving. This one's taken.
So so my wife I can't figure out where it is on this microphone. There we go. So I found out that my wife has like a goon. So she loves when I do voices, and I do lots of voices in the house. If you couldn't tell from the I don't really do voices on the podcast, right? I mean, like, I'm an animated person, but I don't really do voices on the podcast per se. Do I? No, I don't think I do.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the pod. Welcome to the pod.
Hello to our one viewer on Twitch right now.
As always.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even do an intro.
Correct.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, good twilight to you. Welcome to another episode of Thank You For Your Services podcast, the podcast dedicated to the working world, the workers that are in it, the service industry, and sometimes the military, because that is what I do for a living. We have no clue what Tommy Two Streets does for a living.
I'm an accountant.
Yeah, but it sounds like so much more than that every time you explain it.
That's every job, is it not?
Oh my god! If I had a fucking window, I'd jump out of it.
What does "I'm in the military" mean?
Well, I do explain. I'm a mechanic of Black Hawk helicopters.
What else?
What do you mean?
Well, when you were away, you explained all these other things you did, like counting ammo and guarding shit.
Well, that's more the military side. My actual job in the Army is avionics mechanic, so I work on electronics.
So, would you say like 90% of what you do is that?
Yeah.
Okay, so 90%-ish of what I do is accounting.
Okay.
Therefore, accountant.
Isn't it wild that...
Not very hard to explain.
The name of what you do is in... No, I'm sorry. Is what you do. The name of what you do is what you do. An accountant. So you count for a living.
Sort of. I'm not a bookkeeper.
Okay.
I mean, we do bookkeeping of sorts, but that's not my job title.
Your job title is accountant.
Right.
There you go.
And we account for all of the funds in the company.
Well, I'm not having any kind of fun in this conversation. Let's move on.
Fun.
I feel like it's been less than a week since I've seen you, right? Because when did we record last? I don't remember. Well, it was only a few days ago.
That's none of their business.
That was weird timing.
That was my
that was my dirt bike
that was
acting
my
up
ass.
again. So, let's get into it. This week, we like to do our little segment called What's on Your Mind, Baby?
That's right.
So what is on your mind, baby?
Well, today.
Yeah.
I am post-op.
Oh, that's right.
I had a vasectomy yesterday.
Oh my god.
No children for me.
Ugh.
Forever.
What did they now? Obviously, they don't cut your balls off.
No.
But what do they do to your balls?
Almost nothing to your balls. What they work on is the bag. The ball bag.
The ball bag?
Yeah.
The nutsack?
Do you know what testicles look like?
I have a faint idea, yes.
Like behind the skin?
So I don't have big balls.
That's okay.
I have, like, they're not hangers.
That's fine. You're high and tight?
I am. I'm high and tight with my balls.
Well, that's good for more motion.
It is. I've been told.
You're aerodynamic.
Yeah, I am aerodynamic. I'm very lucky in that area. I feel like it'll age well.
Probably. So
yeah.
you don't know what testes look like inside the ball bag?
Yeah.
Essentially, they look like big balls of pasta, like spaghetti, like balled up.
Oh, okay.
So what the vasectomy exactly is like...
They should call it a pastectomy.
If it was called pasta, maybe, but it's not. Instead, it's something else.
Okay.
They do something with the vas deferens. I'm making shit up.
I know.
There are tubes that go into your ball bag.
Yeah.
That run into your testicles.
Okay.
That your swimmers swim through.
All right.
That's not a technical term, but that's what the doctor calls it. So
swimmers, yeah, the ones that are fighting.
When you come,
you ejaculate. I thought we were being scientific here.
Your semen is generated in your balls.
Okay.
But your swimmers come from inside, and they go into the semen, which is the vehicle in which they're sprayed out, so to speak.
Okay.
So the vasectomy procedure is they simply they numb up your ball bag.
Whoa.
And they
like put a needle in there
to numb it up. Yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Well, you've had fillings before, right?
Actually, no.
Well, have you ever had Novocaine, like a shot at the dentist? Yeah. It's like...
I hate it.
It's like 10 times less bad than that.
Wow, really?
Yeah. The Dr. Cozzolino, shout out, Brandywine Urology Consultants. He said...
I've been there before.
He said it's going to feel like a bee sting. Like a really small bee sting, and it sure did. It was very easy.
It's like on your balls, or is it like on your taint? Oh yeah,
it's on the hangy part of the bag.
Okay, so almost like the Raffy area.
Yeah, like but it's such a small little thing. You just got I did one of these. I just did a and the next thing I knew, it was fine. And the numbing stuff kicks in seconds.
Is it costly?
No. I'll get into that too. Okay. So they're literally just cutting the cord in which the swimmers swim through. And semen is still generated. Okay. You still ejaculate the same way. There's just no swimmers in there.
So you're still ejaculating.
Correct. But
how often? Can you ejaculate as much?
Yeah,
the same amount of ejaculate.
Like I said, nothing changes.
Okay.
About the production of testosterone or the generation of semen, because that does come from your balls.
Yeah.
There simply are no swimmers in the semen.
Okay.
When you do ejaculate. And I asked this specifically. I said, well, if you're cutting the pathway, where do they go? What happens to these swimmers? And he said they get absorbed back into your body and they just go away. It's like the same thing as blood or oxygen. It just goes back inside you.
Interesting.
Where they came from, and nothing changes. So the whole from in the door out the door took a total of about 15 minutes.
Wow. It's that quick?
It was so easy, and it was so non-invasive feeling.
Yeah.
That I was shocked.
Yeah.
And this is what I've heard across the board from everybody I know who's ever gotten one too.
Yeah. And
it was easier than getting your teeth cleaned at the dentist, I would say.
Yikes.
They saw you to death with floss in the dentist, and this was easier than that.
See, I floss twice a day now. I never go to the dentist, by the way.
I
hate the dentist.
I only do it once a day.
Once a day is fine. I'm just saying I'm so used to the floss now. It doesn't affect me anymore.
Well, that's the thing with flossing. Your gums get strong and healthy because you floss all the time, so it doesn't matter. So, let's see. They have you, at least Brandywine Urology had us do this, or me do this. You disrobe. They put a sheet around you, or you put a sheet around you, and then you sit on basically what is a recliner. I'm just going to explain the procedure now.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's... you sit in what's basically a recliner, like a medical chair.
Yeah.
And then they slowly tilt you back horizontal. And the doctor's in at this point. And then he'll raise it up to table height so he can get to work. Quite literally. He'll get to work on you. He made sure I was
to work on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, first he jerks you off. He does it to every patient, right?
Can you imagine how relaxed you would be? Or I don't know. Massage.
I mean, I feel so. We were just talking about that before we started recording. I've had one massage in my entire life, and it was the most uncomfortable I'd ever been.
I've had 0, but I
don't like to be touched unless it's my chiropractor. Because she can crack all my bones and stuff. But other than that, I just started going to a chiropractor 4 years ago. Well, changed my life.
That's probably the comfort level that you have with that chiropractor. If you had a singular massage therapist or masseuse?
No, because I just don't like to be touched in that way.
What is that way? What does that mean?
It's like they're mushing you, but they're not really. Like, it's not strong enough. And even though if I ask them to go really hard, it's just weird. It just doesn't feel right.
Well, that sounds like the masseuse's fault, not the industry of massage.
It might have been my fault in not telling them exactly what I needed, but I tried my best to explain. And we got out of there, and I was like, that was one of the worst experiences of my life. Excuse me. I just don't like being massaged.
Was it just like a regular humdinger, run-of-the-mill massage place?
Yeah, it was like a spa.
Oh,
like a massage. Like it was like a whole experience. I don't like the music that they play because it's supposed to be like overly relaxing, and it makes me, it's just a weird setting. I don't like it.
Well, yeah,
it's very uncomfortable.
Again, it sounds like you need like a shiatsu or like something.
I think I do. I need like a muscle like banger. Like I need like a hammer that's like bump, 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 like that kind of a thing.
Maybe we need the hot stones.
The hot stones.
Mm-hmm. Nice hot stone massage.
Oh, maybe, yeah. There's a great scene in Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, where he kills somebody with the hot stones that are inside of a sauna.
Ah.
It's pretty cool.
I'm going to get back into the vasectomy thing now.
Okay.
If that's all right.
Yeah, continue, please.
He raises you up.
Okay.
And then, like I said, he did, since he got 2 nuts most of the time, he did a first injection on one side.
All right.
And then it kicks in a couple seconds. And it was really fucking strong because...
It's making my balls hurt.
Yeah, shortly after, I couldn't feel anything. Like, I could feel that he was moving stuff.
Pressure. You can feel pressure.
Yeah, he called it pressure.
Yeah.
It just felt like just being moved around, but there was no pain or sensation. So then he does the other side, same thing. And then we were just having like a casual conversation talking about he talked about traveling. He said where he wants to go next. And I was like, "Oh, you travel a lot." He was like, "Thanks to my balls." Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, I try to go on one place once a year, yada yada yada." And then he was like, "Okay, so now we're going to put you back into a reclined position slowly so you don't get lightheaded and make sure you're good." And then he gave me a couple more instructions, and I was like, wait. That's it? And he was like, "Oh, yeah, we're done."
What?
And I was like, what the fuck? Dude, it was so... And I didn't get lightheaded, by the way. I felt fine.
That's great.
I stood right up. And plus, I'm still numb, so I felt nothing.
Yeah.
I have 2 stitches in me that will just dissolve. Yeah.
It makes my whole body shiver. I don't like it.
It's fucking sweet.
So and you feel pretty healed? Like you've been taking a couple of days off of working out?
I did, and I asked about that too. So the day of yesterday, the soreness will kind of come back like throughout the day because the numbing stuff wears off and you're post-op. And then what it felt like it wasn't a pain.
Yeah.
But like, you ever been hitting the nuts really hard?
Yeah.
So after that stomach drop, like feel like you're going to throw up sensation is gone. After that, when you're just like that leftover soreness, that's what I felt like for most of the day.
Interesting.
Just that like leftover soreness. Okay. And I sat on a bag of frozen vegetables, 20 minutes on, 20 minutes off, switch all day. And then when I woke up this morning, I felt practically nothing. I felt 95% normal.
I feel like I'm feeling it right now. I don't like it.
I'm glad.
Okay.
So I'm not alone in this.
Well, can I tell you, I'm happy for you. I think it is kind of a slap in the face to your ancestors, but I'm happy for you. Really?
I think my ancestors would slap me in the face. So
for getting a vasectomy, yeah.
No, just for being who I am.
Okay. Well then, yeah. So I went to the doctor today finally to see a specialist about this strep throat that I've had for a month and a half.
Been looking forward to this appointment.
Oh yeah. And he's kind of a kooky doctor. He's silly. He's very silly. And the first thing he noted, I'm telling him what's going on. He's like, "Huh? Yeah, some people just have strep forever." I was like, okay. He's like, yeah,
That's not good.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's like, yeah. He's like, it's not bacterial anymore. It just lives in your body now,
That's
like forever. And I was
the
like,
worst
okay.
possible prognosis.
And then he straight up like takes my nose. And he's like, all right, I want to check up your nose. He's finger up my nose, then thumb, pulling at it. He's like, oh yeah. Can't breathe any air out of that right nostril, can you? And I was like, no, I broke it when I was a kid. And he was like,
kidding.
He's like, yeah. He's like, oh yeah, we can fix that for you. I was like, really? He's
course.
like, yeah, we're gonna do some surgery and we'll fix that for you. And I'm like,
of course.
Okay, let's. I'm gonna get a CT scan and see if my insurance will pay for everything because I am a snorer because I can't breathe when I sleep. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't want it to kill me in my sleep. But I actually wanted to tell that story of how I broke my nose on the podcast. Did I ever tell you how I broke my nose?
I don't think so.
So I'll keep it quick. I was 9 years old.
No, get into it. No one gives a shit.
Pretty quick story.
Stories are stories, though. The point of a story is to get into it.
So I was 9. This was the summer of '99. I want to say.
Yeah, it was a great year.
Summer of '99. And
I went to England that year.
Yeah.
I did.
Really?
Yeah. Keep going, sorry.
Maybe it was, it must have been the summer of 2000.
Okay.
And then I was
you're 10.
I was turning 10.
Okay.
So I wasn't 10 yet. This was right before my birthday. Yeah. So I had this babysitter who I was absolutely in love with. This girl, Brittany. I was like, so I would literally snuggle like into her chest. Like, and we'd watch Nightmare Before Christmas. Like, I've always been a breast man. So anyway. Yeah, that's creepy, but I was 9, whatever. I don't care.
I mean, you were the 9-year-old.
Right.
She was probably underage, too, so screw it.
Was she? I think she was like, yeah, she must have been
not
like 16 or something. Anyway, so I would like snuggle up on her, maybe not into her breast, but you know what I mean. So, and she always would wear this Playboy bunny shirt. I just distinctly remember it. So, anyway, I decided to sleep over my friend's house up the street, like one night, and it was like, the next day was going to be the last day she was babysitting me. She had to go back to her home. She was a friend. She was our family friend's like younger sister or something, or not something. She was a family friend. One of the people that helped raise me growing up. It was her younger sister who needed a job for the summer, so she babysat me for like a couple weeks. And anyway, it's just the preface of the story. So I was sleeping over at my friend's house. Him and I are sharing. It was like, they had bunk beds in their house, but the bottom bunk was like wide, and then the top bunk was like normal size. So 2 people could sleep on the bottom bunk, and then the top bunk was like normal size, like 1 person. So him and I, we were sleeping on the bottom bunk next to each other, and then his younger sister was above us in the top bunk, and she's, at least was, I don't know if she still is, but she's a pretty big girl. And she was hanging off the edge, and I'm looking up, and I won't say her real name. We'll just call her Sally. and I'm like, Sally, I'll tell you a story to go to sleep, but you gotta stop hanging off the edge. And she's like, I'm not. And I'm like, You are. Yeah, exactly. You are. And you're going to fall if you're not careful. And she's like, I'm not. And as she said that, she fucking fell. And my head was sticking out to talk to her. Fat girl fell on my face, broke my fucking nose, like instantly. Man. So then the next day, I'm in so much pain. And I'm starting to get the black circles around my eyes and all that. And the next day, I'm with my babysitter who I'm like in love with. She brings...
I'm sorry. What did Sally tell Matt with 2 black eyes? Nothing. She told him twice.
Yeah. and so I'm with my babysitter. She brings her boyfriend, and I'm already like, oh, this motherfucker.
Competition.
He gets to sleep with this girl, like, and I don't. Like, and I'm, this is 9-year-old me, so it didn't.
Oh, this is babysitter boyfriend.
Yeah,
gotcha.
This is the babysitter's boyfriend.
I'm thinking of Sally, the linebacker.
And it sucked too because I actually ended up like, he was awesome, and I was like, oh, this guy's cool.
They always are.
He showed me this whole comic book series, and like that day, and I got like obsessed with that comic book. It's called Crimson. It's about vampires. Really cool comic series from the 90s. And so he's showing me that, and I'm like, man, I hate this guy, but he's actually really cool. Then they take me to a public pool. She's like in this bikini. I'm like in so much pain from my nose. I go to eat this fucking rainbow lollipop, I throw it up into the pool so that my throw up is now rainbow colored, and I'm this sick fucking broken nose, like, and I was chubby at this time too, which, you know, if you know me, I'm like super obsessed with like working out, and I'm fucking throwing up this shit into the pool. I'm crying. Oh, it was the worst day of my life, dude. Everyone's looking at me in the whole public pool. Yeah, it was a horrible day. Anyway, so my breathing's been fucked up ever since. And that was 2000, I think. Almost 23 years ago. If it was almost
22 and a half.
22 and a half years ago, something like that. 22 years ago. So,
and it's all Sally the linebacker's fault.
I'm
she was
32
monkeying
now.
around.
It's turning 10, so yeah. And 20.
Monkeying around on the fucking jungle gym. But it was a bunk bed. Like you're not supposed to do on said bed.
Yep.
So you're supposed to sleep in beds.
So I broke my nose that way. But so yeah, so I'm getting a CT scan, and then hopefully they'll fix my nose and I won't snore and keep my wife up anymore.
Well, they're probably going to do that thing that my dad is afraid to do to your nose.
What? Break it again?
No, that, and plus they like stick what is essentially a chisel or a screwdriver in your nose hole. Yeah. And with a hammer, they go tick, 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 tick.
Yeah, they do.
Tick, and they fix it.
What if I get a lobotomy from it? That's scary.
Well.
What else?
It would be a goddamn tragedy to lose a brain like yours.
What's this note about? What is this? Overly agreeable? What?
So, you ever been in line or in like a public setting? Yeah. And, like somebody steps away, somebody either steps away for a second or they like motion another way and then they get back in line, and then in order to remove, I guess, either the guilt of doing that or to assure everybody around them that they're not cutting in line.
People do this with a lot of things, but yeah.
They're like, no, it's not me. I'm not cutting in line. I wouldn't do that. I was in this spot. Like they're like going way too hard.
Sure, yeah.
And it's like, dude, nobody even noticed that you left. It's okay. You're okay.
That is a human nature thing where you don't want people to make you the odd one out, so you become overly agreeable. I see that happen a lot of time if somebody gets yelled at, which can I tell that story?
Well, that's a nice transition right into it.
Well, so this week was fucking safety week at work. It was safety stand down. We weren't supposed to do any maintenance, and we were just supposed to do classes all week. Well, let me tell you, we had to fucking do maintenance on top of the classes, right? We had to sit through PowerPoints and people giving speeches and higher ups just talking about God knows what, just such boring stuff. Well, today, the young man who has been on our podcast, my friend, your friend Jay, he made a little snide joke, which we all thought was funny. It was something from yesterday. I can't really explain it on the podcast. It would take too long to explain it. But a very high up individual noticed the joke. And he was okay with joking the day before. And today he snapped. And he got up out of his chair like he was ready to pounce. And he goes, well, I don't think safety is fucking funny. And like he was like pissed. And he started yelling at him. Only him,
lambasting him. Jesus.
Yeah, I mean it was bad, and
I hate that.
And I was like I'm watching, and then I made a joke later on, and it actually everybody laughed in the thing. We got the trivia question of the day the music died. What is that referring to? And I knew the answer, and he said, okay, if you get it, you guys can leave early, and I raised my hand right away. And then I made a joke, and I was like, okay, I have a question for you, and you can leave early if you'd like. And it was the colonel, so he makes all the decisions. So everybody fucking was laughing. And my question was, who lost the coin toss to Buddy Holly that he had to ride the bus? Do you know the answer to that?
I don't. I don't know the answer to either of those questions.
What? Really? So the day the music died refers to February of 1959 when Buddy Holly, the Big Bopper, and Richie Valens died in a plane crash.
They all died at the same time. Okay.
Yeah, from the American Pie, the song American Pie.
Yeah. So who lost the coin toss? What is the coin toss?
So there was a coin toss between Buddy Holly and another musician. Now, the bus that they were traveling on, there was a bus and a plane. The bus's heat was broken. It was the middle of winter. It was very cold, and people were getting sick. So they were doing coin tosses. Who gets to ride the plane? Who gets to ride the bus? So Buddy Holly and Waylon Jennings flipped a coin, and Waylon Jennings lost, and he always felt really guilty about that.
Oh,
yeah.
That's what odds are, I guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes what's the most you ever lost in a coin toss?
Oh shit. I don't do that many coin tosses.
That depends. What am I betting? Everything.
What's that from?
No Country for Old Men.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Javier Bardem.
Everything. Yeah. But what do I stand to win?
The store clerk, right? Of the gas station.
The gas station.
Yeah, that's right.
Coolest fucking scene. What do I stand to win?
Yeah.
Everything. You've been moving through your whole life just for this moment. You just didn't know it. That scene is crazy.
Great scene. Great movie. I've seen that movie a few times now, a handful of times. Great film.
Now, what else you got?
Oh, dude,
I'm out.
So my one of my coworkers, he bought smelling salts, like extreme they're called like atomic smelling salts from Amazon.
These things are coming into the fold because people have discovered that it helps you work out.
Is that what it is?
So
because he's a lifter.
He's a power lifter.
He is
so
huge, strong. In fact, I would love him to be on the podcast. He is probably the smartest guy I know, technically speaking.
This is a huge thing in powerlifting world. Tex can attest to this. Friend of the pod, shout out, guest episode 18.
Oh yeah, Tex. Yeah.
So before they go for a really big lift, they take a fucking huge whiff of these smelling salts.
Yeah.
And it jacks them up like crazy.
Yeah.
And then Well, you smelled smelling salts, right?
Yesterday, no, I never had. So
Dude,
yesterday,
it's a lot.
Yesterday, we all were taking turns, and they were like surprised because I put it right up into my nose. It was like, woo!
So you did smell it.
I sure did.
That's what I was just asking.
It was. Oh no, that was my first time ever smelling it.
Dude, yeah.
So that was really funny.
It really picks you up immediately. When I worked at one of the credit unions, we have they have a first aid kit, and they have those in the first aid kit for if someone passes out.
That's a great thing to have. In fact, I want to get some for here. I want to put them under my wife's nose while she's sleeping. I think it'd be funny.
You're such a rascal.
I am. I'm a little rascal. Bro, let me tell you about my wife. So we have a joke that everywhere we go...
Take my wife, please.
Yeah. Everywhere we go, she scampers off. Because and she always is like, no, I don't. And she's short, so she's the same height as every shelf in every store. You cannot see her.
They blend right in with the children.
We went to fucking Target the other day, and I was like, hey, yeah, here.
It's always in Target.
And I said, here, stay with me so you don't scamper off. She's like, I don't scamper. She had a little backpack on. She always has her little fucking Coco backpack, Disney Coco backpack. I take her into Target. We're in there for 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay. Let's go through the toy section because I always check for Godzilla toys because Bandai has a contract with Target now, and they sell this series of Godzilla toys that are awesome. And I think I have all of them now, but just in case, I like to go through if there's new ones. Anyway,
yeah, you check for the toys.
I always check for Godzilla, and I buy them for my godson too. Whenever I see Godzilla toys, I'll buy them for him. So anyway,
she scampers.
So she fucking scampers. I see her. I look away for a second. I see her all the way down the other end of Target.
You see a little black blur of hair.
I said, holy fucking shit. So then, I'm like, all right, fuck it. I'm going in the Halloween section then. If she's going to scamper, I'm going to scamper.
As you should. Go do your thing.
I'm looking around the Halloween section. I was like, okay, I need spotlights. I always need spotlights. And there's this little girl. She's kind of like chubby. She's got like chocolate running down her face, whatever. And she just does one of these.
Yeah, Sally.
She leans up against the shelf. She's tiny. Right, and she leans up against the shelf like this, like an old man at a barbershop, like this,
like really, really casual,
like James fucking Dean, and she's just staring at me,
like she's about to light a cigarette.
Yes, she is just staring at me, trying to just look into my soul, and I'm looking at the thing, and I do a double take, and her mom's like, yeah, I won't say her name, I can't remember her name, but I'll just say Sally again. She's like, Sally, what are you doing? And the girl just like looks up, dead silent. She's like, could you be any more weird? And I fucking started laughing my ass off. And she goes, I'm so sorry about that. I said, no. I said, honestly, I don't mind. she's like, yeah, I do though. She's like, we're trying to raise her right. And I said, maybe she's just a comedy genius in the making, because that was hilarious. And her mom started cracking up, and I walked away, but that was so funny to me. Little kids are just hilarious. So also, so last weekend, that's right, you came over. It was my last day of my AT. I've worked 24 days straight. I finally get a day off tomorrow. But the other day they sent me home with a crate full of apples. As you can see them from here. It's
a milk crate.
It's a milk crate. Yeah, it's like a Wawa
reference.
milk crate full of apples.
How many apples does that hold?
I have no idea, but it's a lot. So it's like 5 Hello Kitties up in there or more, because Hello Kitty is 3 apples tall.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so it's more than 5 Hello Kitties. It's probably like 20 Hello Kitties.
I'm looking at the crate right now, and I can see you didn't use all of them yet.
So I used half of them.
Okay.
So what I've been doing is making apple cider from scratch. So it's been in the crock pot for 24 hours now yeah.
If you double what's in that crate, I would say there's probably 65 apples in there.
I was about to say, yeah, probably about 60 apples, almost 60. So we cut up maybe 20 last night. Maybe there's 50 in there. I don't know.
Damn, anyway, we're talking 20 Hello Kitties.
Well, Hello Kitty is 3 apples tall. Yeah, so 60
times
apples. 20. Yeah, 20 Hello Kitties, yeah.
Look who got good at math suddenly.
Yeah. Well, I said 20.
I'm talking about myself, because I've flubbed my math so many times.
I think you're just so good at math, probably, that you don't think of simple math. And I only know simple math. And when I can't figure out algebra or statistics, I took statistics twice and failed.
That class probably blows.
It does, yeah. I don't ever know what I'll try and use a Z-score for in my entire life, but I could not figure that shit out for the life of me. So I've been making apple cider. So tonight I'm going to strain it all after I get done eating, and I'm going to put it in mason jars, and I'll save one for you.
Fuck yes,
yeah,
thank you.
Homemade fucking apple cider. I'm so excited. Nice and sugary and cinnamony and whole clovey. I know, I'm very, very excited. Other than that, I got back into skateboarding again. Finally, it's been months since I skated, because I was not skating on purpose, because I thought I was going to be at air assault school, but that all fell through. So I got back into skateboarding. I was skateboarding the night before you came over. I suck again, by the way. I can barely do any of the tricks that I was good at before. Well, so I got to get good again.
That's what consistency does.
And then the only other thing I wanted to talk about was it's Halloween season. I mean, October now, and I am happiest at this time. Nothing brings me down in October. This is my month of, I don't really sleep well, but I am so full of
You're charged.
energy. Yeah, and I came up with an idea for a toy I'm going to make as soon as I'm done haunt season for an art show I want to be part of. And it's going to be a Halloween toy, but you're going to be able to see, I'm going to hand make the gears and you're going to be able to turn a gear in the back and it'll spin the toy's head.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and I'm going to paint its head like a jack-o'-lantern.
That's awesome.
It'll be cool.
Speaking of it being that season now, since it's October now when this is out, how fucking extreme was it when the weather turned?
Love it. It was very extreme. It went from hot.
It went from summer to fucking fall in a day.
Yeah, it really did. It's so weird. Delaware is so strange with that,
dude. Last year it wasn't like this either.
No, I don't think so.
It was warm until almost Thanksgiving last year. It was
warm in October of last year. It also rained a lot last October, and I'm praying that it does not rain on Halloween again like it did last year. That was driving me. That was stressing me out.
Well, we got a lot of rain in September, so I think it might. The pattern might correct itself.
I hope so, bro. I fucking hope so.
Last year Halloween stunk at my house.
Halloween was great at my house. It's just setting everything up was really difficult because of the rain. It was just ruining everything I would set up, and it was destroying my props.
You got a couple hundred kids last year, right?
We probably had about 200 to 300 kids. Yeah, maybe 250. Saturday morning. This Saturday, I know it's going to rain, so I am going to the stores and getting a lot of Halloween candy. Yeah, that's my day to get candy to work on. I'm building a candelabra for my sister. She's going to be a ghost, so she'll carry it around. So what I've been doing, I think I told you, I've been wiring these flickering LED lights.
You didn't tell me this.
So what I've been doing was I've been wiring flickering LEDs into like PVC pipe that I cut at different sizes, and I glue them together, and then I use the hot glue to make it look like it's melting wax. So they look like candles. They look like 3 candles all together, and they look like they're melting. So I'm putting those by each gravestone to look really, spooky at night. And then I'm making a candelabra for my sister. I'm gonna make it out of PVC again, paint it black, and wire up multiple LEDs. So she's gonna be able to carry around a candelabra, and then she's gonna look like a ghost with her husband. Her and her husband are gonna walk back and forth like ghostly figures throughout the graveyard.
The 3-time husband?
The 3-time husband.
Didn't they have 3 weddings or some shit?
They did have 3 weddings, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
No,
but he's a wonderful man, so.
I think the week after Halloween, I'm going to have to add in some footage of all the shit that you've made. I
would love that, yeah, because you saw my pirate that I made downstairs who drinks the drink. That's a cool thing I did. This weekend is my mausoleum build, so I will be building a mausoleum that our friend Jay actually will be hiding in, and
big ass Jay.
Yeah. So that'll be really neat. So I gotta go get wood and
however much wood you think you need, double it.
Honestly, yeah, that's usually he's a tall guy, so I have to build it like straight upwards, and yeah, it'll be cool though. You'll see. You're not gonna be able to help out this year for Halloween, right? Probably not.
Why do you say that? I should be.
I thought you and Mel said nah.
Why would we ever say no?
Because I ask you every year.
Well, every year by the time you ask, I'm doing something. Halloween is a Monday.
It is a Monday night, yeah.
So it might be dicey for her, but I can obviously be here.
I would love that. It'd be so much fun. You'll have a blast.
You have a verbal from me and a maybe not from her.
All right, that's fine.
On her behalf.
I have enough people, at least that say they're doing it. But if you want to help, I would love it if you were there.
Yeah.
I think you'd have a blast. You've done it before.
Mm-hmm.
You helped back in 2016. Dude, let me tell you, this neighborhood is even better than that one. Like, this is so much fun, dude. Last year was probably the most fun I ever had on Halloween night because I finally got to be part of the scares. Normally I'm running around making sure everything's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I get to be part of the scare. So,
fuck yeah.
Yeah, dude. So I'll be
fully charged, Matt.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You'll be vibrating with energy.
I also have I have the right sound equipment this year to get the spooky graveyard ambiance going, and I have the lighting. I have the time off. Hopefully, I'll have enough time off for all of this to go well. I really only have a handful of days to get it all ready.
Yeah, I think we have.
But I got the really hard parts out of the way early in the summer. I've got all my walls built, my stone walls, so they're gonna look really good.
We only have 5 weekends until Halloween. 4 or 5.
We do, and then one of those weekends is taken up because of drill.
Fucking drill.
A fucking drill, dude. After we just did AT, we should have had off in the month of October. It is fucking bullshit. Ooh, excuse me. It's bullshit, but.
You're awfully bubbly today with the burps. Yeah, I am too. Actually.
I feel hydrated. I feel a lot better. They're putting me. I got my new prescription today. It makes me a little nervous to take because technically it's a steroid, even though I know it's not like steroids, but it's a steroid for my throat and my eyes and everything. He said it's going to make my eyes better too.
It should help immediately.
But I'm waiting till tomorrow morning to start on it because it says take it in the morning at 3 times per day or whatever.
I'm taking a thing. I'm taking. For 3 days, I'm taking a thing, too, that I have to take twice a day. And I just remembered I'm going to take another dose later tonight.
Okay, cool.
So, yeah.
Is it an antibiotic or what? Or is it steroid?
Something like that.
Gotcha. Oh,
it's to prevent infection.
Infection, yeah. Okay, so I pretty much covered all of my things, even in the who you're working with. The only thing I wanted to touch on was sometimes you work with people, and Mel was kind of touching on this last episode, people that are out of touch with the workers. A lot of times we'll work with like higher ups that don't really understand what we do all day. I don't think they understood that we just worked 24 days straight with no days off and really tough hours. But I'm just glad it's over. I'm glad we got done our fucking safety week, and it's going to be so nice to sleep in a little bit tomorrow.
What's that mean? 6 o'clock instead of 5?
I'll sleep until probably almost 7 or 8. Yeah.
Dude, speaking of sleeping in, I did take time off for the procedure.
Good.
I took off the day of and the 2 days following, so I have the weekend too.
Oh, good, bro.
I got to sleep in until 8 a.m.
Hell yeah.
I was like, fuck yeah. I feel like a teenager again.
I know. Even as a teenager, I never slept in, but
Me either.
As an adult, I try to lay in bed more. I took a nap right before you came over. I was exhausted, but I'm good now. I feel good. We're gonna eat some pizza, and I'm gonna strain this apple cider, and that's my whole rest of my night. So, who you working with this week?
Well, I was about to say, growing up, like before we swiftly change topics, growing up, I wasn't allowed to sleep in.
Yeah, me neither.
Like
we got up and did yard work. 6 in the morning.
Something.
Yep.
And sometimes I would be made to do nothing. I would just be forced awake. My dad, always my dad would most likely come into my room, and then once I got older and I got blackout curtains, just fucking whoosh, just flung them right open when the sun was up.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, why are you doing this on a Saturday?
Yeah.
Like,
you have to, though.
No,
it's why we have good work ethic now.
Do you think so? Because I don't.
I do. Yeah. My dad. I told you how my dad used to wake me up. He would sit on me, grab my feet, and punch my toes in 6 a.m. every day. He thought it was the funniest thing. Or he'd hold a toy over my head, and the dog would jump on me and just jump all over my face.
Oh my
every
God.
morning. Most days, both of those things.
Dude, no wonder
together.
You're fucked up.
I'm all fucked up. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
And then he would be like, okay, here's an axe and a shovel and some branch cutters. You go take out that mini tree or bush or whatever, and I'd have to just fucking figure shit out all day. And he'd be like, all right, and that's an extra $4 for your allowance. And I was so like, I need the money. So, and that was like, and I was 8, 9 years old, so it was like extra $4 in the 90s. Like that was fucking everything.
May as well be $100 exactly. Back then. Fuck
yeah.
No, my dad would wake me up just to have me awake because he did.
My dad at least had something for me to do.
Sometimes we'd have things to do, but often it would just be like, no, you can't sleep in. Like you have to get up now, and I'd be like, it's Saturday.
It's so funny though, because you have a great relationship with your parents, whereas I would say most of us don't really.
I do now because they're so removed. Like my mom is very she's very like independent, like always on her own path. Like
yeah.
Sometimes I'll we go long stretches of time without even speaking. And then my dad is like, my dad is like, you can clearly see where my ADHD comes from my dad.
Okay.
Because he can't plan anything far in advance at all.
See, and that's funny because I would say you're more focused than me.
Well, that's
but
because
I don't consider
that's because I grew up with that, and I push back against that kind of behavior.
Yeah, and
so much so that I was like, I will never inconvenience people the way he does, because, like, at this current time, he's at work, so he's traveling the world somewhere for the next 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks left in the stretch now, and there's nobody watching his cats on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
So he has people like. He says he has arrangements
right.
of his sister and other people like coming through, because I offered multiple times. I was like, look, I'll stay down there for a couple days at a time. I just need to know when. And that was probably a month, 2 months before his trip. Yeah. Like when he was freshly back from the other one. And he was like, he always like he'll brush it off like, yeah, we'll plan it. And then he's gone actively now. He is not here. And he would probably do something like this. He would call me tomorrow. Yeah. And be like, yeah, this weekend, can you go down there and stay with the cats for a couple days?
That's a long trip for you.
Yeah, he's an hour away from me.
Yeah. Oh, really? I thought he was all the way in like Georgetown or something.
No, he's in Smyrna. Thank God.
That's right.
It's not that far, but it's far enough that it's not a hop, skip, and a jump.
Right.
It's a bit of a little drive. So he'll be like, oh yeah, this weekend. Plans have been made for this weekend, by the way. They've been fucking made.
Of course.
And then I'll have to be like, no, I can't do it this weekend because XYZ.
Yeah.
And he'll be all like, all right, I guess I'll find somebody else. I'm like,
guilt trip.
Yeah, you probably should find someone. In advance, maybe. That'd be good. But I want to be the antithesis of that kind of behavior because it fucking inconveniences people.
Yeah.
When you ask them to do stuff last minute and you don't plan anything, it's fucking craziness to me,
dude. And it's funny. My dad is the opposite, where he plans so hard. Like as a kid, when we would go to like a theme park, like Disney World,
you
right?
have a full on agenda, right?
Oh my god, bro. We'd go to an IHOP or something in the morning. Once again, wake up at 5, 6 a.m. He's like, okay, here's the plan. He'd pull the fucking map out on the table, plan out each. We'd go in order you'd walk all the way to the back of the park from when the park opens to get on those rides first. And then you'd strategically go to the different rides. You'd have to, and then of course, Fast Pass became a thing and you had to go at certain times or whatever. And he figured it all out. I mean, he overly plans so that when Liz and when we go to anywhere now, I go, hey, look, I don't want to plan anything. I just want to go walk around. And I tell you, we have a blast.
It's such a better way to do things like that.
I agree. Now with Disney you can't do that because Disney's new line stuff it's very complicated and you have to plan at least 6 months in advance.
Ugh.
At least 6 months in advance, and that's how they do it now. And even including your restaurant, because we want to do Disney in like January, February, or Universal again. But I'd really like to do Disney,
dude. And people are shocked when they're like, "Would you like to go to Disney?" And I'm like, "No." Fuck no.
Yeah, because I asked you guys the other day, and you said you didn't want to go.
Yeah, I was
why?
Like, no, that's why.
Oh, because it's very it's highly. See, I haven't been since 2006. I haven't been to Disney, so.
You're in for a culture shock.
I know, but that's okay. I just want to go. I can wait another. I'm saying I can do it once and be annoyed for another 15, 16, or whatever, 16 years. That's fine. Yeah.
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 I was on a roll with my thought there. Oh, so when I appreciate a regimented schedule of things like that, but I can't do that with an experience. You know what I mean? Like, it's perfectly reasonable to plan out to the letter, like, a lot of things to do on a trip or, like, travel.
Yeah, it is.
But you should also allocate time for the greater us, to just freestyle and just go,
I agree.
Do whatever. That's where the fun is.
In fact, Liz and I are planning a trip to Salem, Massachusetts in November.
Okay, smart to pick November, by the way.
Yeah, but we are we're gonna get the train tickets and a hotel, but everything else we're gonna just wing it, and it'll be fun.
That sounds fucking awesome.
Yeah, you guys want to go?
Perhaps
that would be actually really fun if all four of us went.
Because Mel and I's friend Sienna, who visited at the craft thing, last week, lives in Salem.
Oh, she lives there.
Yeah, she moved to Salem from another part of up there.
Have you been to Salem before?
No.
It's really fun. It's a fun time.
So
it's a fun little town.
She hates October. Because it's fucking
very touristy there, but you can make a lot of money there in October. They have these little haunted houses that cost like $8 to walk through, and they're terrible.
But so she says, like, Salem this time of year is like Bourbon Street in New Orleans.
That makes sense. Yeah,
it's just like that. So she hates living in there this time of year.
Right.
But afterwards in November, that would be much more doable. God, that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
We got to do that.
Talk to Mel, and I can arrange for us, even if we have to share the hotel room or something. Like, it'd be
no
cheap.
problem.
Or even if we don't, we can just get 2 rooms near each other or whatever. It'd be really fun.
Fuck it, we ball.
And then we could do a live podcast from Salem.
Ooh.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be sick.
We're taking the train, though.
Great.
Okay, as long as that's cool with you, because the train's kind of expensive. I'm just warning you now.
Well, I'm sure it probably costs more than driving, but it'd be really nice to not have to think about my car.
It's a lot nicer than drive, because I've driven there before. It's a lot nicer than driving and trying to find parking, and it's also it's just more convenient. There's nowhere to park in Salem. It kind of sucks finding parking.
It sounds like a train. Would you think
it's also 8.5 hours to get there?
Instead of like 6.5 in a car?
No. It's 8.5 hours in a car.
You think so?
So the train, it is. I've done it. Like I said, I've driven up there before.
Okay.
Yeah. I did it like all one shot, and we left at like nighttime and got there like in the morning. We just like went on a whim. Me and a friend of mine from all those years ago.
Man, that's a pretty cool idea too. Nice night trip like that.
It was interesting. Yeah, I took like a nap beforehand. I think she like got off of work late, and I was like, "Hey, let's go Salem." She's like, "Okay." We just did.
Fuck it, we ball.
Yeah. I like doing stuff like that. Yeah. All right. That was a nice little chat.
Oh, also.
Yes.
I didn't get to get into who I'm working with.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you talked about the person. Okay.
Sure didn't.
Please let me know.
Let's see.
And then I'm gonna order my pizza. I'm very hungies.
Ew.
What?
I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, what's ew?
So
I don't even know what time it is.
A while ago.
Oh shit! It's 8.
Oh my god! It's past your bedtime.
Look, dude.
A coworker of mine stopped me, like in the middle of probably one of the most important parts of the day.
Okay.
Which is when we get the money in the door. Like the checks come in the mail.
Yeah.
And then they have to get processed by the receptionist. They have to have copies made, and then there's like a top-down like view of like, we got this many for this many dollars.
Okay.
So then they come to me, and I have to post them to the various, like, whoever paid us. It gets posted to their account against the invoice, and the invoice is closed out. This is extremely important.
Okay.
And some days, well, mostly Mondays, because there's a buffer of 2 days of no mail on Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
We get a ton of mail on Monday, and sometimes we'll get like 50, 60 like payments from various customers. Jesus. So we're talking tons of money at a time sometimes. Yeah. Sometimes. So like all of that said, there's a lot of shit that goes into doing it. And I'm in the middle of this process a few days ago, and my coworker stops me like mid, like I'm full on not making eye contact with anything but the computer screen.
Yeah.
I'm not, like, I'm concentrating.
Yeah.
And
I can tell you're heating up already.
And she was like, "Oh, I just can't think straight. It is too noisy in here."
Oh, okay.
And I was like, "Yeah, no kidding."
Throw headphones in.
I had headphones
No,
in.
not you. Her.
Right. Like, do something.
There are so many solutions to that problem.
Like, it's the opposite of my problem. So why did you bring it to me? Of all times, why now? And, like, if you can't think straight,
yeah,
why would you stop me from thinking straight?
Yeah, I don't know.
Awfully selfish and pretty weird.
Because misery loves company. Yeah,
loves company. Yeah, it sure does. And I was like, it made me think, like, this must happen to everybody.
It does. Yeah, it happens in my work in different ways. People will be like, "God, I don't feel like doing any work today," and then they distract you from not doing your work. They pull you into a conversation. You feel like you can't leave. Yada yada yada.
This is toxic behavior, and it needs to be stopped at all costs. Those people need to be put in jail, and they not to be let out. Oh, you don't want to do any work? Okay, don't.
Yeah,
go sit down and stay away from me. That's what I say.
Stay away from me. Yeah. Well, God, I was having a great conversation. One of the guys I very much look up to, another NCO. He's a sergeant. He's a staff sergeant. He's one rank higher than I am, but he's been in the Army a lot longer. And great hard worker, great NCO, great leader. Like, really works alongside his guys. You know, he's very religious, and it always surprises me the things we were talking about Halloween, and I was telling him about all the stuff I'm building, and he's so interested. You know, he actually is genuinely interested, and like, wow, that's really great that you do that kind of thing.
Do you think that's out of politeness?
No, he's actually a great guy. Like, I help him on his motorcycle and stuff, and like we're good. We're like, we've become friends since we were overseas.
So he's genuinely curious.
Genuinely great guy. Okay. Genuinely cares about the church. Like, he's not like a religious, like, hypocrite, bigot, anything like that. He was, you know, he had bad stuff going on in his life early on, and he got involved with the church, and that's
turned it around.
And he turned it around in an annoying way. He doesn't ever really bring it up or anything, but he was talking about how he can't partake in Halloween, and I was like,
does he think it's like secular or something?
Yes. So he doesn't. They don't partake.
Too secular?
They don't partake in any holidays at his church, and that made me so sad because they all originate from pagan holidays. And he gave me the list of biblical, you know, according to him, which I respect him for, because I'm like, okay, at least he knows his shit. But I go I was like, I'm so sad that you that Halloween is that in your eyes, because in my eyes, it's not just about the spooky stuff. It's a whole community coming together to make one night for kids. And he's like, I know. He's like, but we just...
I know, but
it comes from pagan holidays because they don't do Christmas. They don't do nothing. So, I know. I mean, it just made me sad. I just wanted to bring that up on the podcast because he's such a great guy. I'd love to have him on the show. He's got these great experiences, like in Afghanistan, and just like he worked with special forces over there. And he would tell me these stories about how they would just be... You know, he'd be doing because he was a crew chief on helicopters, and they would just be.
So I was in the shit, right?
Well, he was. I mean, like he was like, dude, it's crazy over there. Like, you're just sitting up there, and the snipers are telling you, they're like, all right, if I hit this guy, you buy me lunch today or whatever. Like, if I, dude,
not to sidetrack too quick.
No, I don't care.
My sister like dated a sniper, or a former sniper for a few.
Yeah, a lot of them are kind of fucked up.
He was fucking fucked up.
Yeah, man. Snipers are
it's kind of like it's a really dangerous mix of like a jock and a really fucking huge nerd.
It very much is. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Snipers, because one of my drill sergeants was an Army sniper, and he was this big. His name was Drill Sergeant Crump. And he was a crump. Like, if you can imagine what a crump looks like, he's crump. He's like a
human bulldog. He
was like a human bulldog, a big mountain dude.
Wow, I wonder if he's related to the Middletown Crumps.
I don't think so.
There's a family of Crumps that I used to deal with.
Was it Crump? Yeah, I think it was Crump. Yeah,
the Kirkwood gas fortune.
Really?
Yeah,
that's funny, dude. But anyway, he would talk about like sniper school, and I think you have to do like, it might be like 48 hours straight of not moving. Like, you just lay in one position. It's something like that.
I've seen.
It's really interesting.
I've seen programs about it on television.
Programs? Oh, you watch your stories?
I always, I would think about that. I would see that and I'd be like, how the fuck are you supposed to pee or take a shit?
You just pee yourself. I mean, you have to pee yourself. There's certain jobs in general you have to pee yourself.
You gotta sit in your dirty pee pants like that.
Yeah,
Ew.
if you're gonna kill the enemy. Yeah.
And you gotta just shit in your pants.
I highly respect snipers. I think they're awesome. I could never do that shit, man. I'm too fidgety. Obviously.
Yeah, it takes a different kind of mind to be able to shut off like that.
But I really would love to have my buddy on the podcast.
How many times have I said this now? 40 episodes now? Schedule it.
Dude, I try scheduling people a lot. Hey, you guys should come on at work. Like, I try but it's cool.
I've always heard that cliche about, like, on other shows too. Like, how scheduling people is impossible.
It really is.
It is fucking hard.
John Mulaney has that great bit about, and this was from years ago too, and he was like, God, I just love canceling plans. It's like heroin. Ugh, and I always thought that was so funny because canceling plans it's like, no, it's not. Well, look, I say I'm going to talk to Liz. You should talk to Mel. I would really like to do a Salem trip. I think the four of us would have a blast up there.
She's been wanting to go for quite some time. Plus, Sienna is up there, so we have an inn with like the local area,
the townies.
So she'd be able to show us, like, you know, all the good shit. Like, she's always talked about wanting to show her anyway, so it's all the more reason to do it.
Okay.
What else? I had one more thing. Oh, I will not let this podcast end before I get into a couple more things about the vasectomy I didn't get into earlier.
They got into you. All right, go ahead.
Well, like you were saying, was it reasonable cost-wise?
Oh, yeah.
The answer is yes.
Okay. So
everybody's insurance providers are different, and some people don't even have insurance. So I don't know how that works for them. But as a person, like, with good insurance with my job, I was, like, fortunate enough to, like, I made the appointment. Well, I first made the appointment when I had a different job in 2018.
Okay.
Got the consultation, and I was like, I planned the whole thing. And we were like, zip, zap, zop, great, let's get it moving.
Yeah.
And then I lost that job.
Okay.
So then I couldn't, like, do the follow-up and actually do it back then.
Right.
So this past year, I was like, oh, shit, I can finally do this now.
Cool.
Like, I'm in a position to get it done. So made the consultation appointment. The consultation was about $75 after insurance.
Okay.
And it was very not funny haha, but like funny weird. But the morning of my consultation was the day Roe v. Wade was overturned.
Weird.
And I was like, fuck, thank God I did this now. Because, like,
you don't want to get a chick pregnant.
No.
Yeah.
I don't want to get, no, never. It's awful sounding. Pregnancy wreaks havoc on people's bodies. It's horrible. Like,
it's fine.
How do you know? You're not a girl. You don't have a womb.
What I'm saying is, there's plenty of women out there that want to be mothers. Like, they'll be okay. They're survivors, bro. Women are tough.
I'm sure they do want to be mothers, and I'm sure they will survive.
Yeah, it doesn't wreak havoc on everyone's body.
But it does do bad shit to your body. It changes their bodies forever. Ask any mother.
Well, it does. It changes your body forever, but it could be in a good way. I mean, my ex she said she loved being pregnant. She did, literally.
We don't have to get into how fucked up she was already.
She was fucked up, but I've talked to plenty of women that are like, yeah, I loved they get like a chemical, balance in their body. And they're like, yeah, I love the feeling of being pregnant.
I know there's like a thing, but
hey, it's not for everybody, but she loved it, and there's plenty of women I've talked to that loved it. And
so I took the onus onto myself, though.
No, I was like, it's great. Yeah, it's wonderful.
Like, I know I'm never gonna want to be a parent, and yeah. I've been with Mel for years now. Mel doesn't want to be a mother either.
Sure.
So I was like, well, fuck having the woman do all the birth control work. I'll do it.
Yeah, well, especially it's like a little bit less invasive for males.
Extremely less.
Yeah.
I went into great detail of how easy the appointment was.
Well, it's funny. My wife is actually getting her. She wants to get her she's going to get her tubes tied next month. That's
another thing. It is like preventatively harder for girls to do that than it is for guys to get clipped.
Yeah, but
it's fucked up.
Yeah, but she wanted to do that even before we were ever together.
And most girls do. Like those who want it, want it for a long time.
Right. Yeah, she never wanted kids. Because I want kids, but yeah, I don't think it's happening.
Mel has talked about the same thing. She's never wanted children. She talked about wanting to get her tubes tied when she was 18 years old.
Right.
Just like I talked about when I was 17, turning 18. They said, what do you want for your birthday? I said, a vasectomy.
That's wild.
That's exactly what I fucking said.
That is crazy.
So, the point is, I've got my insurance. I made the consultation. Roe v. Wade gets overturned, and I was like, I turned to my doctor. I was like, "Can you believe this news today, too?"
Sure.
And he was like, "It's a fucking travesty." He said that. He was like, "It's abhorrent and it's horrible."
It is.
So, my appointment was yesterday at this point, and all said and done, like I said, door to door, 15 minutes, top to bottom, and with insurance, it costed me around $360.
Oh, shit, that's nothing.
Right?
That's great, man.
I did the math.
Yeah.
As I tend to do.
I know, I see that.
It's, including the consultation and the procedure, it is the price of about 27 or 28 boxes of condoms. So just think about that.
All right, that's actually fucking great math. That's hilarious.
They're about $14.50 on Amazon for a standard 10-pack.
Yeah, okay.
Times, all the times you buy them.
And it's substantially cheaper than 22 years of raising a child. Or 18. We'll say 18, but it's really more like 22 years.
Do you have any idea how much it costs to have a child in the hospital?
To have
the
one
hospital
in the hospital? I don't know, somewhere probably like 30 grand.
About that? Yeah, that's about right.
I think I've heard that or read that recently.
For many years of my life, I made about that much money in an entire year.
Yeah, well,
so
no, I know. My ex's kid. I mean, I know I was never there. I wasn't there for the birth, but all my money went to raising her. I mean,
exactly.
Worth it, but it was all my money. So
and it just seems like I don't know. Yeah, I feel like I barely have a lid on myself. I can't make that change that people have to make when they become parents. At this point in my life, and probably not.
Well, one thing I'll say is, because I was 22 raising her and she was 11, it became instinct. Maybe that's not for everybody, but it literally became like something snapped in my human brain, something in the back that was like, oh, you have to provide for this other person now. It just like, and oh, you care about this person more than anybody else in the world.
That's so. I admire that in you so much because
I mean, I think it would happen.
Let me compliment you. Okay. Don't do that.
Okay.
Like, because she's also not your blood.
Yeah.
People have a physical connection,
sure,
like, and chemical connection to their obviously their own offspring. Mm-hmm. Like women or like mothers can like feel in their breasts like, oh, my baby's about to wake up. Because their lactations are on a schedule with the baby.
Right. Okay,
that comes from being in the womb. They can literally within like a 2-minute window can predict that their kid's about to wake up. It's fucking crazy.
That is, it's nuts.
And plus, like, you'll never feel a connection the way you do to something that's literally a part of you.
Right. Yeah.
As like a father, I guess. Yeah. And I'm sure it's very rewarding.
Yeah, it was the best thing I ever did in my life, I think. But yeah.
You probably helped that kid in more ways than one.
I hope so.
And with long-term effects, I would hope.
Yeah, I hope so.
So, no, let's see. Yeah, this is a good spot.
Sure.
Let's wrap this thing up with a bow.
You know what I noticed? You didn't do your clapping.
Fuck. I'll just do it after so that I can match up the video. Anyway. I was talking.
Okay.
Stop it. Follow us on Instagram. ThankYouForUrServices _podcast.
And follow also, if you would like to email us, if you don't do social media, we're at ThankYouForUrServices @gmail.com. You're spelled UR. My bad. I forgot. We have all those things on Instagram.
Yeah. It's all there. Look at it.
So
follow us, subscribe.
What Tommy does, Tommy puts together clips for our YouTube channel, clips for our TikTok, and all the links are up on. And we're on every podcatcher possible. Right?
That's right,
including Amazon, which is odd that they have their own like podcast service.
They're trying to take over the world.
I know.
So they're
doing a pretty damn good job.
They said, "Oh, we should get into that podcasting thing too." I mean, they try to be Spotify. They try to be, everything with every podcast, whatever.
We should try and get a sponsor.
Nope.
Never. You never want to do that.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care if we get sponsors.
No. But what I was saying is from your urology place.
You mean like a couple bucks for shouting them out?
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Not?
I would take a fucking sweatshirt, honestly.
Yeah, bro. Dicks for dollars. That'd be fucking rad. I mean, what do we have? A couple people listen to this. Maybe they want vasectomies too.
Hey, I'm trying to spread the good word.
I know you are. That's what I was saying. I was like, maybe hold off until we get a little wiener money.
No, I said it on my personal Instagram.
Some balls bucks.
Ooh, ball buckers.
What?
Ball buck. I don't know. Anyway, I was trying to say, if any guys out there, or penis owners, in fact, have any questions about it, and you're thinking about it, you can reach out to us, and I'll talk to you on a personal level about it if you're curious, because there's so much I didn't know before, and there's so much things that, like, there's misconceptions, all that bullshit. I'll clear it up if you have any questions. So shoot us an email at ThankYouForUrServices@gmail.com.
Hey, great segue.
Your is spelled UR. ThankYouForUrServices@gmail.com.
And once again, that Instagram is at ThanksForYourServices_podcast. You can find all of our info there. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And thanks for listening, you guys. Remember, you matter. Keep working hard out there. I know it's fucking difficult. Oh my god, especially right now when all the holidays are coming up. I'm fighting. I'm rooting for you out there. It's gonna get rough.
I'm so happy to not be in a public job
anymore.
At this time of year.
This is wonderful to not have to deal with fucking weirdos and their haircuts anymore around Christmas time. I hate them all.
Oy vey. All right, bye everybody.
Yeah, have a good night. Bye.